All right, good morning, everybody. Let's check and see where we're at here. Need to sleep my backups. Actually, need to sleep them for longer than an hour. Hey, Teddy, Stiflus. Welcome, guys. All right, 4 hours. There we go. I just don't want my backup system and Dropbox to affect my streaming here. Hey, CV. Bought LaunchBox a few weeks ago. I'll be setting it up with full with games very soon. Tried it out and it's very impressive. Awesome. That's great to hear. I appreciate that. I assume you guys can hear me well. I actually got a new microphone, so let me know how that sounds. Hopefully, I'm loud enough and it's not too echoey or any of that kind of stuff. Hey, Jade, welcome. Good to have you. Loud and clear. Good deal. All right, guys. So we are going to tackle the LaunchBox Games Database today. A number of things. There's at least one bug that we need to fix, and then same thing with we need to work on a lot of data. We need to merge a lot of platforms and add. Depending on how much time we have, I'd like to add support for alternate titles on games. There's a whole bunch of stuff we can do. So I want to focus on the LaunchBox Games Database today. Hey, Sid. CV, thanks. Thanks for joining, and hope you enjoy it. I think if I was watching, I'd be incredibly bored, guys. But I appreciate everybody being here and joining us in the stream. Amiga, sure. So I've got a list of platforms to add. This is a whole bunch of stuff to do. So let's say a quick prayer here, and then we'll get started. Lord, thank you for the opportunity once again to come together with the community and just build something awesome, Lord. Thank you for your guidance, your direction, your help. Keep our conversations productive and help me be productive in my development as well. In your name we pray. Amen. So, let's do it. I'm going to have to show you guys the server today. I don't think that's going to be an issue. But here is SQL Server running on the server. Of course, you guys can see the IP, but you can see the IP anyways just by looking up the URL, so it's not really a big deal. All right. So what's first? I'm thinking, really, I should be solving some glitches, but I think I might wait to do that. I want to kind of work on the data a little bit. So first off, we need to come up with a list of platforms that need to be merged and a list of new platforms that need to be added. I want to tweak the regions list and add a whole bunch more regions to that list. Let's start with that. Let's start with the regions list. And I figured out what the ideal list of regions were recently when we were doing the region work in LaunchBox, I think. So somewhere in my code here, I have a good list of regions. So that's kind of what I want to pull up. I got to figure out where that is. Back when we implemented the automatic populate region from ROM file name thing, we came up with a good list of regions. So that's where we're going to start if I can find that code. I just have to figure out where that's at. I think that's in utilities. Yep, here we are. Good. Easy to find. So here I have a list of regions ultimately, and I want to add all these regions into the LaunchBox Games Database, and this will become our standard list of regions ultimately. So let's do that. I copy all that stuff. I'm just going to paste it up here, and then we'll have to do a search and replace to get rid of all the extra crap. And then make sure we don't have any duplicates. So be a little bit of work, but no big deal. I'm not sure I can really do a search and replace that is really going to help me a whole lot. So I might as well just do this manually, I guess. I can probably do this quicker though. Maybe not though. I don't think there's an automatic way for me to go line by line because it's all on a different spot. Because once we add better support for regions, things will be a lot more flexible. And adding stuff like alternate titles for particular regions, obviously if the region doesn't exist, that's pretty much useless. So first thing we need to do here is clean up the regions. Because right now we're very limited. I think we have, I can pull up the regions that we currently have. I should do that so I know. Right now all we have is Asia, Europe, North America, Oceania, South America, and World, which covers probably the most important things, but it certainly doesn't cover everything. So we'll add all these new records to the regions so that we have everything covered. Then we have these funky ones that cover both Europe and Japan, and North America, Japan. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. We'll have to see. I'm not sure if I want the duplicate regions to be in here. Because right now you can only select one region. So I'll have to think about that. If you guys have any feedback on what we should do about that, if you think, let me know. If you guys think we should add these duplicate regions as regions into the LaunchBox Games Database for people to select, or if we should just, for example, North America, Japan, North America, Europe. Of course, since I'm from North America, my preference would be to just put North America in for those games. But obviously that's not the most culturally, that's not the right word either. It's not kind necessarily to other regions. And then we can do an easy search and replace to get rid of the last part there. But really I should start my script, paste my script down, and then we can follow up with a search and replace for the end. Alright, so first things first. We need our script, insert into region, and I think region is pretty simple really. Just region key and name, so all we need, region key is automatic, so we just need name, values, like that. And I'm going to do a big search and replace to replace that with this. And then all we need is to paste this on the beginning of every line, and we can do that quickly, thankfully. Whoops. My fingers would be trained. There we go. Alright, now we need to remove the ones that already exist, obviously. Let's follow up with these comments here. Yeah, Teddy. Yeah. So, my kids are in school now, except for my youngest, so it's safer for me to not have that annoying headset on, because my house is quiet again, which is a blessing. So we can use a microphone, and I got a new microphone to help us or help my voice sound better, mostly when I'm recording videos, but it works well for the stream as well. Actually got a, if I can pick it up, I got a Samson Meteor, which isn't the most recommended mic in the world, but what I liked about it is it's actually really tiny. It looks big when I put it up to the camera, but it's actually really tiny, and it's good because it'll sit on my desk in between my two monitors, and I can just leave it there and angle it at my mouth, and it's a good situation because it's not so big. I don't want to get a whole boom mic and all that crap. I just want something simple that will sit on my desk, and this is the smallest decent mic I could find, so that's why I got it. Let's go back up here a little. Hey, K-Money, welcome. That's awesome, CV. Nice. What kind of stuff have you worked on recently? That's really neat. Stifless merging system databases. That was a bad way to put it. We are going to be merging systems together. For example, Famicom and SNES are going to become one system, and stuff like that. And we're gonna be able to specify different regions for everything so that it works out well. Hey, Jazzphone, welcome. Veltias, ever considered adding a consolegrid.com scraper for clear logos? They should match with Turian's big box theme well. My headphones are broken at work, so I can't hear a response. I need CC on my stream. Interesting. Okay. Consolegrid.com. I've never seen consolegrid.com. I guess I can check it out. Huh. Interesting. That's what it looks like. They look nice. Sure. At some point, we can add something like that. That makes sense. Again, we should put a Bitbucket ticket in there for that. Wonder if this feature is already implemented. Hopefully somebody can tell me if it is. But it would be pretty cool if you could search FF, for example, and all games that has FF and their name would show up. That would be nice. No, we don't have anything that involved with the search currently. But yes, the search could be improved. Right now it searches pretty much all fields on games, and we wanted to add some more advanced search features, so that's planned. This is the first time anybody suggested smart, really truly smart algorithms like that. So that's an interesting request. I think that would certainly be useful. I do have to be careful though, because I don't have a proper database behind the data in LaunchBox, so sometimes I have to be careful as far as how much logic I put in there, because I don't want it to go too slowly. So that's something to keep in mind, but there's always a way to do it somehow. DJ War, the change ROM path was added to the bulk edit wizard. No, I have not added that to the bulk edit wizard yet. It's certainly on my plate. It's probably not the highest priority. We need to find the ticket in Bitbucket and get it voted up. So it's coming, but it might be a while yet. DJ War. Hey, Rincewind, we're working on the LaunchBox Games Database. Death Battle 2D animations. Nice. That's pretty awesome. Is Death Battle a game? Oh no, here we go. Stifilus, no, here's the thing, okay? We got duplicates all over the place with these games. It's very difficult to administrate isn't the word. It's very difficult to administer the duplicate platforms, and I know it's a common argument among people, But yeah, we are going to merge platforms that are the same platform. We'll have a way for you to separate it out eventually, so that you can choose only games that are you know, for the Famicom and stuff like that. But it's definitely cleaner to keep things integrated and keep all the games together. And I know the Famicom is kind of a different situation than a lot of them because of the differences. But I think the best approach is to merge them at this point. Go for it, Jade. Hey, Static, welcome. Matt, welcome. Show online on YouTube. Cool. Nice. Well, you feel free to link us, CV. That'd be fun to check out. Famicom Mario 2 and NES Mario 2 are different games. That is a good point. That is a good point. And that's kind of one of the reasons why Famicom is a difficult one. So we might delay merging that one, but there's definitely some platforms that we need to merge. So, oh, Jade, sure. It's hard for me to talk on that subject because I don't want to freely give that information out. Because the more information I give out on the obfuscation that we use, the easier it is for hackers to come in and hack it. And at this point, nobody's hacked it, so I'm not eager to give out that information. However, just email me at jason@unbrokensoftware.com. I'll put that in the comments here, and I will let you know. No problem. I don't mind sharing it. And honestly, people can figure it out. It's not that hard to figure out. Thank you, Veltius. Thanks for nothing. Come on, dude. Be with me here. Help me out. Okay, so anyways, yeah, it's IL Protector. No big deal. It's easy to figure that out. I just didn't really want to put it in the stream. But anyways, yeah, it works really, really well, and it's what I would recommend using. Nobody for LaunchBox has hacked it yet, so that's great. It's a big help. Anyways, we're caught up on comments. Let's get back to the code here. Oh yeah, Veltius is without audio. No wonder he said that. Okay, that makes sense. Anyways, we need to remove the ones that we already have. So we need to find North America, Asia, and Europe. North America, Asia, Europe, Oceania, South America, and World. I'm not sure if we have Oceania in here. Oceania, however you say that. We have World. And here's another Europe. We have several duplicates, so I'm going to have to go through South America. I don't think we have South America. I think the best thing to do would be to put these in alphabetical order. Sweden, Asia. Oh, we need to get rid of Asia. Then we have stuff like North America. Let's put the duplicates together. Australia. We already have Brazil. Canada. China, we already have. We already have the Netherlands, France, Canada. Thing is, we had entries in here for every single possible thing that you would find in the file name. That's why we have so many duplicates here. Finland is a new one. Germany. We have Greece is a new one. Holland is a new one. Hong Kong we have. Japan we have. And then here's a dupe. Korea we have. The Netherlands we have. Norway is a new one. Russia is a new one. We have Spain, we have Sweden. Now we have ones for the United States. I guess I'll put that in. Why not? And we have another double one. The United Kingdom. World we don't need. Here we go. All right. Veltias, the problem with saying stuff like that is you're encouraging hackers to go ahead and try it. So I would appreciate, to be completely honest with you, I would appreciate if we would refrain from talking about this stuff. Because, man, there's a lot of damage. I will admit there's a lot of damage that can be done if somebody really puts in the time and effort to crack it. So I would appreciate if we didn't encourage people to do it, frankly. If you know how to do it, keep quiet about it. I'd really appreciate it. Awesome, CV. Let's check this out. Pixelated blood. No big deal. Nice. Did you do all of this, CV? Don't worry about it, Jade. I'm just more referring to Veltias. I don't want to, because when you talk about, oh, it's easy to crack, and I hope it isn't, but when we talk about that kind of stuff, then it encourages people to do it. So that's my problem, my hesitation. This is pretty impressive, CV. It's awesome. I don't need to know Veltias, but the thing is, this stuff goes on YouTube, so I would prefer if we didn't talk about that kind of stuff. Whoa. Yeah.
Didn't expect that, did ya?
Yeah.
No way, the Colonel of Fried Chicken is here to battle the clown of fast food himself.
Very nice, CV. That's awesome. I'm impressed. That's cool. Static Fade. What edition are you looking most forward to adding in LaunchBox Big Box? So I'm thinking. Well, what I'm most excited about right now, personally, is to get uh, the Bar Top Arcade, which should be here soon, hopefully. I'm hoping in a week or two. But I need to follow up with Kevin at Monster Arcades. Um, anyways, So I'm most excited about doing the LED blinky implementation and the what is it, the demo stuff. Well, I can't remember the name of it. There's a proper name for it. The stuff where that'll automatically show you games, kind of as a screensaver kind of thing. So those are the two things I'm most excited about implementing right now. Um, and it's kind of tied into the fact that I'm excited to get the arcade, the bar top arcade, and all that stuff, and bring it to Retropalooza. So that's kind of what I'm most excited about right now. I know, CV. I know how that is. It's crazy for me to think my job is to work on LaunchBox. It's kind of incredible. So yeah, I feel you. It's pretty awesome. Attract mode. Thank you, K Money. Yeah, yeah, me too. Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. All right, so here we are. We got rid of all the ones that we already have, and we have a unique list here. Still waiting for you guys' feedback on what we should do about these grouped uh, multiple items in one. Are you guys in agreement that we should just forget about these and not do them, not add them? The only issue is in that case wherever a game is, there's not very many games were only released in like Japan and Korea, and in theory you should be able to just say, I think, just Asia for that kind of stuff. That stuff like United States, Brazil, United States, Europe, those are tough. North America, Europe, whatever. I don't know. So interested to hear what you guys had to say on that, whether we should add these types of things or not. But we can go ahead and just insert these. Oh, I have a dupe here. I don't know how I did that. There we go. The DV structure right now is a game under platform or above it. Game under platform or above it. So yeah, a game can only have one platform, which is how we're keeping it, Beltias. Region priorities, that makes sense. We'll be doing the region priorities thing. The only thing is, like, multiple regions. I don't plan on supporting the ability for you to add multiple regions to anything. So like we add an alternate title to a particular game. You're only going to be able to select one region for that alternate title, is the trick. You're not going to be able to select multiple regions for an alternate title or multiple regions for an image. It's only going to be one. Would rather keep Japan instead of Asia. Yeah, we'll have both options, Stifless. I don't really want to remove Asia because Asia was already selectable. So we'd have to fix all that data, and we're going to keep Asia in there, especially since some ROM sets do allow you to select Asia, or do have a setting in the file name that means Asia. So would it be possible in LaunchBox to have separate C plots per platform? I don't know what you mean by C plots, Jade. I think the game should be top level with platforms associated. Yeah, unfortunately, we're not going to do that for lots of reasons. It just becomes a lot more difficult data-wise to maintain something like that. But also, what we can do, I mean, one thing I do plan on adding is this game is available on these other platforms. So we can associate platforms in a different way, but we're definitely going to keep it the way it is right now, where the platform is the parent. There's other ways around the duplicate issues. All right, let's go ahead and colors. Okay, would it be possible in LaunchBox to have separate colors per platform? That's certainly possible. We should add there might be a ticket for that. I've heard that before. I think that'd be pretty cool. But we need to make sure there's a Bitbucket ticket in there for that, and then vote it up so that I can focus on it. But yeah, I think that would be neat. to match the colors of the LaunchBox interface to the particular platform, that'd be cool. All right, let's go ahead and just add these. So we now should be able to go to the site and see those regions. And then I think I'm just going to leave these off for now. I don't think I'm going to add them. We can come back and add them later if we feel like it's necessary. But I'm going to go to the games database. And wherever we select a region, there should be the ability to... so let's just go in and, for example, edit this image here. Oh, I'm not signed in. Come on, what's going on? There it is. Why'd that take so long? Alright, so edit this image. And then we have region. Yeah, that's kind of what I was afraid of. I know why, too. Because I'm not doing a query to select the stuff. I'm only... I have it static in order to save time, basically, to make it more performant. So I'm going to have to edit the games database as well, in addition to the actual regions in the database. So let's do that next. Yeah, feel free to add one, Jade. If you can't find it, then it's probably not there. So go ahead and add one. There it is. Hey, Game Room, welcome. Static fade. I'm sure this has been mentioned or in Bitbucket, but is there a way to, and on the main selection screen of platforms, that the videos playing in the background aren't always the same and in the same order? It's a random option in there. For example, I switched to arcade, and in the background, it always shows Street Fighter first. Yeah, there's... so we're kind of in the middle of adding an option to play random game videos instead of the platform video. So there's several options. One would be to add support for multiple platform videos and randomize them. Another option would be to play a random game video. And we have random game videos available, but there's two issues. One is that if there's a platform video, it will still override it and play the platform video, and the other issue is that it won't play random game videos one after the other. So we have those two issues to tackle yet for that stuff. But yeah, that's planned. There's a lot of other things that people would like to see, like fading or fading videos in between each other when we switch between the videos. So a lot of work to do there yet, but that's something that we'll get to eventually. All right, so basically I need to search for region. Let's go ahead and do that. That's not true. What am I doing wrong? Oh. I don't know. I never figure out why this one doesn't work for me. Stupid thing. So under... It's definitely... I think it's in this. Okay, there's our list of regions. I need to find all the instances of this, though. So, I think maybe if we search for North America, we'll find them all. Okay. Search. Add search. trying to remember what that is. Okay, that's it. So it's only in 2 spots. So it's easy to get those updated. Let's go ahead and do that. Awesome, Static Fade. Thanks. Game Room, yeah. Works fantastic. Awesome. Let me pull up that link again. Oh, that's 404ing on me. That link. Oh, because this Twitch is dumb. All right. So this guy's working great. Cool. Well, that makes sense. It's a quad-core CPU. It better. Oh, but it's only 2 gigs of RAM. I remember talking about that. That's right. So you still have 2 gigs of RAM in there? Hey, Vissy. All right. So I need to select everything in region and order by name. Here we go. Great to hear, Gamer. Vissy, we're working on the LaunchBox Games Database, working on merging some platforms, adding some new platforms, working on regions, working on a lot of data today on the LaunchBox Games Database, and then we'll get to development as well. Take it easy, CB. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time. All right. So I need to copy all these. We'll go back to our code. And we might be able to do a search and replace here to make this easy. I'm not sure. Probably not, though. That would figure. Okay, and then I'm wondering if I can do a search and replace. I'm not sure. That's ultimately what we need in there. Uh-oh, what happened here? I messed that up. Sweden. It's 24. All right, and then we'll close off. Oh, I forgot this one. Clean that up a little. And I just need /option on the end of these. There. All right. The other thing is, I'm thinking of putting certain ones at the top. I think I want North America at the top. And I'm thinking about maybe putting these 6 at the top. I think that makes sense. But I'm not sure. South America isn't common. Oceania isn't common. Europe is very common. So we'll put Europe at the top. World is also common. We'll definitely want that at the top. Asia, sort of, but Japan is probably more common than Asia, I'm thinking. So I think, unless anybody disagrees, I think that's the order we'll use. I think we do have people using it, Veltias, with Steam streaming. The reason why I know that is because originally the controller support wasn't there because we weren't using X input. So I had to add X input originally in order to support controllers over the Steam streaming. So I believe it does now. It does now work properly. Yes. There's a lot of problems with the Steam streaming and the other streaming services. So yes, you are going to run into complications, most of which there's nothing I can do to solve with LaunchBox. But hopefully, most things should work. If you create a forum post, you'll probably get quite a few responses of people who have done it and can fill you in. I can't remember who everybody who's done it, but there are quite a few people who have done it that I've seen on the forums. And there's a bunch of tricks you can use to get things to work well. But I've never done it myself, so that's about as much info as I can give. All right, so we have that all done. And then copy that over here. And we're good to go with the regions. I do need to deploy this, but we should be good to go with the regions when I do. I'm not going to deploy it yet because we got more stuff to do here. That makes sense, Veltias. Yeah. Okay. What's next? So our regions are there. I think platforms we should look at next. I don't think we need that anymore. So somewhere, you guys can help me out. Somewhere there's a list of platforms that we need to add. I think it's Bitbucket is the best place to find the platforms that we need to add. We have a Bitbucket for the games database. Searching the games database for platform. Xbox Live Arcade is a platform. Interesting. I don't know. Okay, we need... I never know how to say that. Taito Type X. Taito Type X. I never know. BBC Micro. All right. if anybody on the stream has a list of platforms that we need to add, a more comprehensive list of platforms that we need to add, I haven't done a good job of keeping track of them all. The requested ones that we need to add. What I have been doing is, in general, is I've tried to tell people to come request new platforms with a Bitbucket ticket here. So I hope I got them all. But let me know if anybody has a list, a more comprehensive list of missing platforms from the LaunchBox Games Database. Tie like bow tie. Okay. Taito. Thank you, Jade. Thank you, Syphilis. All right. So, we should take a look at the existing platforms first. See what needs to be merged. And go from there. So the platform table. Obviously, we got a lot of info on here. Dang, there's a lot of platforms. 164 platforms. That's incredible. All right, so we're gonna have to. We got our work cut out for us, guys. Just to manage this platforms list. So I'm thinking best way to do this would be to sort by, or order by, not sort by, order by name. And I only want name from platform. Make this simpler. So here's all our platforms. I think we need to go through and figure out what we need to rename, or merge. Just start going from the top and discuss as we go. Hopefully you guys have a little bit more expertise on some of these platforms than I do. I'm certainly not an expert. So Acorn, who knows about Acorn? Anybody know about Acorn? Obviously we got 3 different platforms here. I don't think they need to be merged. I think they're all separate. The Electron is a cut down BBC. Okay. I do need an expert here. Absolutely. Anyways, I'm not gonna make any changes unless we know anything for certain. The Electron is a cut down BBC. So I guess I'll pull up Wikipedia. Acorn Electron. It's a budget version of the BBC Micro. Electron was able to save and load programs onto audio cassette via supplied converter cable. Yeah. Exceeded those of the BBC Micro. So my question is, will all software that runs on the BBC Micro work on the Electron? Because if that's true, then we don't need both platforms. An SoC version of the BBC. What's SoC mean, Game Room? Jason, if I add new games, can I edit the content later? I will add Daphne, and I can add Taito as well. Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. We can edit. You can edit it anytime you want, Stiflus. So, and I do want to batch import that stuff at some point, but I'm still working on a system to make that easier. Oh, it's a system on a chip. Okay, so if they're not compatible with each other, so okay, so the next question, Game Room, is was there software that came out specifically for the Electron versus the BBC Micro? Because that's the next question. Was there software that was meant specifically for the Electron? There was. Okay. So yeah, we should keep the platform. We shouldn't merge it. Good. All right, we'll move on. We have Amiga and Amiga CD32. I trust that we should keep both of those separate. Do we need to do any renaming or anything on those? Amiga is it's a whole family of personal computers by Commodore. I knew that. Um, and the thing is, they sold so many different versions or different Amiga computers, but hopefully they're compatible enough that it makes sense to put them all under one platform. Speak up, guys, if that's wrong. The CD32, though, Commodore ultimately went bankrupt in 1994 after the make or break Amiga CD32 model failed in the marketplace. So, one question I have is why do we have a separate one for CD32 when everything else is the same? Okay, CD32 was a home console, that makes sense. And the rest of them were basically computers. The two Amiga systems are all right. All right, so we'll move on from there. Amstrad CPC. I don't know a thing about Amstrad CPC. Honestly, I know nothing. But I assume we are correct in that it should be a separate platform. So speak up if you know better. But then we have the Amstrad GX4000. Same. Android. And then APF Imagination Machine, the Apple II, the Apple II GS. Any thoughts on the Apple II and the Apple II GS? I'm not sure the differences, to be honest. The fifth and most powerful Apple II. Graphics and sound. Radical departure from any previous Apple II, so that makes sense. Because it's 16-bit. Okay, well, yeah, alright. Cool. Most of them crap. Okay, we have arcade. So this is another area of discussion. And I'm sure it could provoke some heated discussion as well. But now is probably a good time to bring it up. So we have arcade, which basically right now means MAME in LaunchBox. So I could be entertained, or I could entertain the concept of renaming arcade to MAME. And then that would make better room for, that would solve some problems. The issue is, though, arcade or MAME isn't a platform; it's an emulator, and so I've always had a problem with calling, emulators platforms. I never liked that. I know that's what everybody else does. I just don't like it. I would much rather call. But the thing is, it prevents a lot of technical issues. Calling everything arcade because you have multiple emulators. You got AAE, you got MAME, and whatever else. There's a bunch of them. So that's kind of a minor issue that we've been running into. So I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts on that. What do you think? Should we should we keep? Honestly, it's going to be a quite a bit of work, even in the LaunchBox code, if we change this up to change the platform name and all that kind of stuff. So it's not necessarily something I'm going to do today. But if you have any thoughts on whether to keep Arcade called Arcade or rename it to MAME, I'd love you guys' direction on that, as I still haven't made a decision on that. Obviously, Arcade is what we planned a long time ago, and I like it that way. But it causes some issues because when you add a platform for AAE, for example, um, if we were going to do that, then it's confusing, you know. So maybe split the arcade systems in the respective emulators. That's what I originally. I mean, that's what we're discussing. That is an option. That's what I'm wondering if that's a good idea. Pinball, yeah. Well, we would put pinball in its own category, but uh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Like things separate. The thing is, what is a good way to classify games? Should we classify games by the emulator that they run on? That doesn't make any sense to me, because if you think about it, okay, I want to play a game from 1985 that goes by this name. I don't care what emulator it runs on. You know, it does. That's not a good way to classify it in my mind. Splitting it up between MAME and AAE, it just doesn't make sense. As far as like platform customization, you know, one thing that does sort of make sense is to separate the technology behind the games. Because I mean, you got like Sega Model 2 and you know all those various, and then Neo Geo and all those various technologies. So that is something we could do. But then again, at the same time, when you play a game, you're not thinking about the technology behind it. So honestly, I feel like in an ideal world, I need to catch up on the comments here. I'm just talking, sorry guys, but in an ideal world, it seems like we would put everything under arcade, and then have subdivisions so that you could group the games however you want as well. Um, but uh, but also have a way to classify. Okay, this game runs on. So it kind of feels like we need multiple classifications. Is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. MAME/arcade, sure, we could do that. Although that it's not as clean, but that's certainly a possibility. I have to anyway for it to work with Rocket Launcher. Sure. Which you don't have to for it to work with Rocket Launcher, but it depends on your Rocket Launcher setup, of course. That's like saying all consoles should be under console. Yeah, well, the thing is, though, it's called platform. That's the problem. We're dealing with platforms here. We're not dealing with emulators. We're not dealing with the technology. We're dealing with platform. Well, what do you call? The problem is every single arcade machine is its own platform, or not every single one. So really, technically, all right. If we get down to the technical proper thing to do here, the technical proper thing to do would be to have a platform called Sega Model 2, have a platform called Neo Geo or whatever, um, and separate out by all the technologies. However, that's not necessarily the nicest, most user-friendly way to do it, because people don't necessarily know what technology is going on in the arcade. So it's really it's a hard one to answer. It's a hard one to solve. Um, and that I don't. That's why I don't like separating them out based on the emulator or calling them based on the emulator. But again, I'm not gonna rule that out. That's the thing. Casuals have no clue what MAME is, and they don't care. that's the that's the trick. So it's like, yeah, sure. Thanks, Matt. I don't think most people would, but I, I tend to, I'm anal retentive about way too many things, and I think about things too much. Yeah, MAME just stands for Multiple Arcade Machine Emulator. That's true. And MAME gets more and more games added all the time, so to call a platform MAME, okay, well this game can be moved to MAME now. It's messy. Stiffless, yeah, I like that idea. So keep it arcade, but keep arcade systems separate. I think a better way to do it would be to add some additional way to classify the games. Um, I think that's going to be the best way to proceed. Thanks, Game Room. That's the thing, Teddy. Yeah, I agree with you there. As far as so what? Who cares what the underlying technology is? Well, you can't just scrape all arcade machines as arcade for those that want to group them. We can if we add a separate classification underneath it, which is possible. You just add another field. Um, so I'm thinking potentially that's what we do. Exactly. Static fade, that's very true. The more you split, the more you have to work on your library to keep things straight and find the game. Yep. Few hundred different arcade boards. Yeah, that makes sense. So we'd only really split out the most popular ones or the biggest ones, but at the same time, I don't think that's a good idea at this point. You guys are convincing me of that. I think the general consensus, I'm getting more don't change it than anything else. And although we're never going to make everybody happy, I appreciate that. That's good to know going forward. We'll go ahead and leave it as arcade. And I think at some point in the future we'll come back and add somehow, with the whenever we get the nested filters going, stuff like that, we can go in and add customizations, ways to filter them further than just arcade. Yeah, we're talking about submenus. Yep. Yes, this is a large reason why Scrape As exists. And all that stuff would be simplified if we divided up these platforms. But no, the reason why Scrape As exists is because so many people um, want to separate these out. But at the same time, I think the largest group of people don't. So Scrape As allows you to add a custom platform with a custom name that scrapes as arcade, for instance. Sure. Anyways, so yes, I think the gist of it is we'll keep arcade, and in the future we can add sub classifications for the arcade stuff. It works fine with Rocket Launcher Stiffless, um, as long as your platform name in Rocket Launcher matches your platform name in LaunchBox. That's a good point. I should do a poll, K Money. So we can get to that. Let's move on. So we have the three Atari platforms, four Atari platforms, and I think I know enough to say that those are fine. Jaguar and Jaguar CD. I'm surprised those are separate. What do we know about Atari Jaguar? Jaguar and Jaguar CD. So CD was an extension on top of the Jaguar. It looks like. So CD-ROM peripheral. Okay. For Rocket Launch, you have to uncheck only show modules, emulators for supported platforms. Interesting, I didn't know that. Can it just be so people can make custom subcategories under a main system? Yeah, that's what I'm getting at, Ali. That's what I'm hoping to do eventually. Something like that. Stifilus, are you serious? I hope not. We want you around. Alright, so we have Jaguar and Jaguar CD and Lynx and ST and XE. I think those are all fine. We have Bally Astrocade. The BBC. So here's the BBC Micro. Computers Lynx. Casio Loopy. Let's be nice, guys. I hope Stifilus was joking. I think he's joking. Casio PV. Cave. Coleco Atom. ColecoVision. I don't want to spend all day on these, so I'm going to move through them relatively quickly here, I think. For games that the user marks as broken, can we have an indication of some sort that it's broken, like a little X or something? Yeah, that would be a good idea, Jade. So again, let's put in a ticket for that. I think we might have a ticket for that. I'm not sure, to be honest. I assume you mean in the LaunchBox display. Stifilus, if I can't import my systems, yes. All I want is to be able to import them and have it working with Rocket Launcher. If I can't do that, then what's the point? Stifilus, that's not what we're saying. We're not saying you can't import your systems. Why wouldn't you be able to import your systems? And so explain to me what the problem is, and I can try and meet your needs. I don't know what the issue is. Commodore Plus 4, Commodore C16. Are those new platforms we need to... Oh, there's the Commodore Plus 4. Commodore C16. I don't see a C16. Are those new platforms, Game Room? Yeah, Stifilus, we're trying to come up with the best solution here. I mean, we're trying to move forward, trying to find the best solution, and trying to make everything perfect here. So it takes some discussion. I can't just take one person's feedback and make it the de facto standard. We have to consider everything. And although Hyperspin does a lot of things well, I have to consider the possibility that Hyperspin isn't perfect, and that maybe Rocket Launcher isn't perfect, and we need to come up with the best solution, not just the existing stuff. So forgive me for not, just making everything the same as what it was before. I mean, I want you around, Stifilus. You're a big help to this community, and I don't want you just leaving. Rest assured that I'm going to do my best to make sure that everything works well across the board for everyone. We're never going to make it so you can't import your systems. That's not ever going to happen. Obviously, I mean, there are problems right now, and we want to fix those problems. That's what we're trying to do. We're discussing this stuff so we can fix these things, ultimately. So, but again, I have to take in the entire community's input and all that stuff. And yes, we do have a little bit different of approach than Hyperspin does. I want to make things clear and easy and effective. I don't want to complicate matters unnecessarily. Thanks, Jade. So yes, we should add a ticket for that for sure. I like that idea, and I think we have stuff like that for some other things like completed, whether a game is completed to put an icon on there, stuff like that. So we need sort of an icon system. To be able to optionally add those various things, and that's definitely on my to-do list. I'm not sure how much priority I can give that right now, but it's definitely in the bit bucket somewhere. And then we also need to vote on those tickets to get them priority. Game Room, it's the same computer except Plus 4 has 64K and C16 has 16K. Okay. So the question is, should we add 2 platforms or 1 platform? For that. Maybe the ability to import the metadata from Hyperspin XMLs will help, Very much so. That something like that is definitely on the docket. That's planned. Um, we need something of that nature. So, and I could use you guys' help to figure out what that is. I don't know that now is the best time to discuss it, but because we're trying to go through the platforms. But yes, importing data from Hyperspin XMLs, we need something of that nature. Subcategories, sure. One platform for both. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll move on. So we have Stifless. I hope you're still around and you haven't um, rage quit on us because I really want you in this community. But anyways, moving on. Commodore VIC 20. Awesome. Well, let me know. Let me know what it is specifically that you're unhappy about, because you've been in this. You know what you're doing. You know what you're talking about. So I want to hear specifically what the issues are, so that we can fix them. Because I'm confused right now what the problem is, to be honest. All right. Crystal System, Daphne, Dice. Dragon 3264, Color Genie, all this crap. I don't think there's anything we should be merged in here. I'm not going to go through every single one of these and research them all right now. Future Pinball. Interesting. I didn't even know we had that one in there. Game Park GP32, GCE Vectrex, Hartung, and Television. iOS, Interton, Jupiter, Mac OS. The Odyssey, the Odyssey 2, the Aquarius, Megaduck, MS-DOS, MSX. There's probably not a lot to change here. There's just a few things, I'm guessing. Namco System 22. So we already have some specific arcade platforms in here, which does complicate things. So we might want to consider what we're going to do for merging the arcade platforms, but at the same time, I don't want to do that necessarily until we figure out how we're going to subclassify things. So, Rocket Launcher has a certain naming convention for what it thinks the system should be called. If this differs, it makes Rocket Launcher a way more manual setup. However, it can be done. LaunchBox plugin is an issue right now with relative paths not being converted correctly, which is being worked on. Sure, I knew about the relative path thing. So, that makes sense about what the system should be called. There might be something I can do to make that. Well, we should definitely do something to make that easier. So I should talk to the Rocket Launcher developer guys to figure out how we can solve that particular issue. Because there ought to be a way to map it up so that arcade goes to MAME. You know, that shouldn't be, or the various other ones. So yeah, I don't know. That shouldn't be, even if if I have to add a new field called Rocket Launcher Platform, I can do that. That's not a big deal. Daphne should not be a platform, it's an emulator. That's a good point. So Daphne should be under arcade, right? Well, let's find out. Yeah, we have no games in that platform. We got nothing in there. So deleting that is a walk in the park. So that's what I'm going to do. Because those should end up in arcade, ultimately. All right. And we probably have a lot of those. So one thing we should do is we should check all the platforms that don't have any games in them and then consider deleting them, probably. So I can do that after we get through this list here. Anyways, NEC, Neo Geo, Pocket, Pocket Color, Neo Geo, Nintendo stuff should be fine. Other than we have, so Nintendo, we have 3 platforms for the Famicom and the NES. Those are, I mean, this is the hot topic as far as what we should do here. And I don't know necessarily. The NES and the Famicom disk system. So the Daphne games should ultimately go into the arcade platform, Stifilus, and we can separate them out once we add the subcategory stuff. And of course we can make all that stuff work in Rocket Launcher properly. Oh, Daphne should be Laserdisc. Well, that's a good question. That might actually be a good point. I'll take a look at that thread. Huh. All right. Um, Daphne should be Laserdisc. Anyway, so Laserdisc. What is the market for that? Was that in the arcade? Or was there ever a home console for the Laserdisc stuff? I know there's Laserdisc players. Daphne games can be played at home too. Okay. Okay. I'm with you there. Laserdisc, that makes sense too. Yeah, I know there's not many games. But yeah, it makes sense for me to add a Laserdisc platform. Now the question is, what's the proper way to do it? With a space or no space? So it looks like we should name it like this. Yeah, so that's another question. Are there multiple versions for the home versus the arcade? I mean, that's where it gets complicated. But anyways, I think we should add Laserdisc, and then maybe if it, I don't know, we'll put Laserdisc in there as a platform. I think that's safe enough. That makes sense at this point. Our insert into platform name values Laserdisc. All right. So we were on Nintendo. We have NES versus Famicom, and then we have Famicom Disk System. And my understanding is there's no way we could merge Famicom Disk System in with NES and Famicom. But I don't really want there to be duplicate games going on between the Famicom and the NES. And that's the problem we're running into, and that's kind of why I wanted to merge those platforms. I know Stifilus doesn't want me to merge these platforms. He makes a good point in that Mario 2 is a different game between the NES and the Famicom. Is that the only game? That's a question. And then is there... we also have the question of, was there an alternate title for Mario 2 in Japan? Or was it really called Mario 2? Let's look that up. It's called... So here's the thing, all right? Mario 2 in the US is called Super Mario Brothers The Lost Levels. That makes sense. So we put it. So here's what we do. We put Super Mario Brothers: The Lost. We put them all under NES. We call one of them Super Mario Brothers: The Lost Levels with an alternate title for Mario 2, or Super Mario Brothers 2. And then we add Super Mario Brothers 2, the USA version. So I'm still for merging the platforms, I think. That's awesome, Stifless. Thank you. Discussion shows that it is not easy to decide, of course, yeah. NES and Famicom should be merged. The disc system was an add-on like the Sega CD, so it should have its own category. Final Fantasy games are numbered differently. So we would handle that with alternate titles. Wouldn't region fix that though? Yes, that's the plan. So we would have an alternate titles with regions attached to them. So that you could check to see that in Japan it was called this versus in the US it was called this. If a game could have multiple genres, why can't it have multiple regions? It shows up in both just like genres. That makes some sense, Kaleidoscope. It really does. So I'm not going to rule that out for the future. We might add multiple regions. Well, the thing is, like, a game doesn't have a region right now. If you look at the games database, there's no region directly on games on purpose, because I understand that games can have multiple regions. What has regions are images, because if you have box art, it's only going to be for a particular region, and we're going to have regions on alternate titles or titles. Somebody's calling me. Have to ignore that. Didn't Lost Levels only come out on SNES as part of the Super Mario All-Stars? You're probably right, Stiflus, actually. Yeah. So, that's probably a poor title. Possibly. But still. With subcategories, you can have all three platforms on the main menu NES. Yes, we can. The problem we're running into with keeping them separate is you get people who put US games into the Famicom category as a duplicate of the ones in the Famicom or in the NES. So it's like it's messy. If LaunchBox could scrape the right metadata based on the region tag and alternative name in the database, I don't see any problems at all for merging the platforms. And that's what we're going for ultimately, yes. I'm still, my thoughts are still to merge the platforms. But speak up if you don't agree, I guess. So far, it sounds like Stifilus and Jade Kitten would prefer that we don't merge the platforms. There are indeed separate games for each, so that is a good point. What we could do, although it makes it more complicated and more prone to error for submissions and stuff, what we could do is only merge the platforms that have the same games for each. Famicom carts had 60-pin carts, NES had 72-pin carts, different systems. Even though the same hardware, should not be merged. Okay. All right. Okay. You guys have convinced me. I'll leave the Super Famicom and NES or the Famicom and the NES stuff different for now, at least. And I think it sounds like I didn't realize there was all those hardware differentiations. It's still annoying because we got people are going to be encouraged to put games in for Famicom for every game that was supported on Famicom, even when it's already in the NES platform, which is what I don't like. But I'll deal with that. And then we have Super Famicom versus Super Nintendo. Is that the same? Is that the same difference? Those are the same. Okay, so we should merge Super Famicom and Super Nintendo. Can we all agree on that? Okay. Awesome. All right, so we'll merge those. Let's keep going. Scum VM. This is another one that's complicated to discuss. It's an emulator. Really, most Scum VM games are either MS-DOS or Windows. I'm going to check to see really what I should be doing is this. So I can I know the keys for all these. Okay. So we're on Scum VM. And the key for that is 143. Do we have any Scum VM games is the question. No, we don't. Well, that answers that. I'm going to say the Scum VM stuff should go in either MS-DOS or Windows, and we're going to delete this platform unless anybody hates it. Cool, Syphilis, thanks. I appreciate you bearing with us. Keep a Scum VM. Alright, well, LaunchBox to know which emulator to use. Well, here's the thing, like, every single Scum VM game, almost every single Scum VM game, is playable with a different method. Keep that in mind. Most Scum VM games were for DOS. But not all of them. Obviously, there was other platforms as well. So, but if you look at it, most of them are going to work just fine in DOSBox. So it doesn't make sense. Granted, basically what we're going to have, okay, if we have a Scum VM platform, we're going to have duplicates in MS-DOS and Scum VM, and it's going to refer to the exact same game. That's what we're going to be. So we're dealing with duplicates if we keep Scum VM. That's the problem. Duplicates aren't the end of the world. I can live with duplicates. But again, these are supposed to be platforms, not emulators, which is tricky. Veltius, I'm sorry, brother, but it would be way too much effort to switch that up. There's no way in hell we're ever going to do that. I'm sorry. I'm sold on that one. That one's not going to happen. Basically, we can fake making the games the center of the universe. That's not hard to do. We don't need to restructure all the data in order to solve that problem. Keeping a Scum VM also keeps the game list small and easy to find. Yeah, I get it. There are a lot of good reasons to keep the Scum VM platform. I'm with you guys. It doesn't obey all the ideologies we're looking at. But I'm not getting any support for removing it, so I'll leave it. All right, then we're down to the Sega stuff. Hey JK, welcome. Everything, you missed everything. Anyways, so Sega, we definitely, in my opinion anyways, speak up if you don't agree, but I feel like we should be merging all the Sega platforms for sure. Like, what do we got here first? We have Sega Mega Drive and Genesis. Does anybody disagree that we should merge those? All different hardware. Can you explain that, Game Room? JK, we're working on the platforms list for the LaunchBox Games Database. Genesis and Mega Drive are the same. That's what I thought. You can merge them. That makes sense. The 32X was the add-on, right? Sega CD was a separate add-on. And there's names for these. There's European names for those as well. You have the Dreamcast VMU. I'm not sure what the Dreamcast VMU is. Sega Game Gear. We're going to be merging Genesis and Mega Drive. Sega Master System. We have Sega Model 1, 2, and 3, which are different arcade platforms. So I guess we'll keep those. That makes sense. JK. More arcade platforms with Naomi and Naomi 2. The Nomad, the Pico, the Saturn. I'm not sure the differences here. These are arcades. So I think the only thing we need to do... Okay. Thank you, Sid. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I think the only thing we need to do for Sega is merge Genesis and Mega Drive, and we're set. Sega Nomad is just a portable Genesis. Aha. Okay. Were there any specific games released for the Nomad? Sega Genesis Nomad. Okay. Portable variation of Sega's home console. Use the exact same carts. So yeah, that one needs to be deleted or merged ultimately. Nomad merged as well. Good enough. Okay. Anything else with Sega? As far as I know, the emulators work the same between Genesis and Mega Drive, but we got the Sinclair, ZX Spectrum, ZX81, the PlayStations, the Vita, the PSP, Sword M5, there's the Super Nintendo, Tandy, Tapwave, TI, Tiger, TRS, there's the Turbos, Visual Pinball, there's another emulator, but whatever, we'll leave the pinballs for now. Web browser, games. I think that's it. So the only changes we're going to make to existing platforms today is to merge Super Famicom and Super Nintendo and merge Sega Mega Drive, Genesis, and Nomad. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. Sega Nomad, start with that. 62. See if it even has any games in there. Nope, that's what I figured. So we're going to delete from platform where name equals Sega Nomad. Don't need it. Alright, so we have platform alternate names for the Sega Nomad. Delete from platform alternate name where platform key equals 62, I think is what it is. Make sure. Yep, 62. Okay. There we go. No more Nomad. Now we need to merge Mega Drive and Genesis. Select. Let's just run this query up here. Zinc is an emulator as well. That makes sense, K-Money. Honestly, like right now, our pinball support is so poor that I'm not really focused on pinball. We definitely need to get that stuff in there eventually. I honestly, though, I sort of feel like we need LaunchBox. I kind of want to tackle pinball eventually, but I almost feel like it should be a separate app, to be honest. And I'm not necessarily 100% sold on that, but it feels like it should be separate to me. Now, what is zinc? Anyways. Based on PlayStation hardware. These arcade platforms? Pinball engines. Game and Watch. Okay. We can add that. After we get done merging these, we're going to be adding new platforms. Anything missing? Sure. The question is, though, JK, are those arcade platforms? System 11, ZN1, ZN2? I've never heard of those before. I'm guessing it's another platform. Oh, yeah. One other thing we were going to do is take a look at all the platforms that don't have any games. So, select star from platform P where select count 1 from game G where G.platform key equals P.platform key equals 0. Or where not exists. It's probably a better way to do this. Alright. And of course this is a heavy query, so I'm not sure how long that's going to take. There it is. So all these platforms here are platforms that we have in the games database that literally have no games. All right, I'm pulling up that link, JK. Cool. That makes sense. Now, just because a platform doesn't have any games doesn't mean we should delete it, but... And I see I need to make this new Laserdisc platform emulated. Let's do that real quick. All right. I don't know what I'm trying to tackle here. Really, I mean, there's a lot of arcade platforms that we should really consider merging, but I think I'm just going to leave them for now. Let's move on. I'm kind of tired of discussing whether we should, you know, merge, delete platforms, all that stuff. So yeah, let's get back to merging Mega Drive and Genesis and Super Famicom and Super Nintendo. So Super Nintendo is 53. So what we're going to do is update game set platform key equals 53. Says we want to set all the Super Famicom ones to be Super Nintendo. And Nintendo Super Famicom is 160, where platform key equals 160. And that'll change all the games. Yeah, I should fix this. So, oops, that doesn't mess us up. All right. So that is going to make all the Super Famicom games be Super Nintendo, so that we can merge that stuff. So 488 rows affected. So we just they changed the platform for 488 games. That's a lot. That's fine. And then we should be able to delete the Super Famicom platform. So delete from platform where platform key equals 160. Viltias, how does LaunchBox deal with Windows 95, 98 games? Those are really, that's another potentially difficult discussion. 95 and 98 games are really hard to run, as everybody knows. On modern Windows operating systems, it sucks. It's like the worst platform ever right now, because there's no good way to run those games on modern Windows systems. At least it's all preliminary, all the emulation stuff. So there's that. Yes, PCEM, and I haven't played with it yet, but I hope it's making good progress. I'm not sure, but anyways, we need. I'm tempted. We need to discuss what we're going to do for that. Right now, everything is just under Windows. Question is, do we? Oh, it has Voodoo support now. Oh, that's awesome. Very cool. Do we add a new platform for Windows 95 and 98? And I think we do. That's what I'm kind of leaning towards right now. But that's a good question. I'm not sure what we're going to do with that ultimately. Okay, we have alternate names in there for that platform. You know what? What we should be doing is updating the platform alternate names. Yeah, we shouldn't be deleting them. That's not a good idea. We need to update the platform alternate names. So update platform alternate name, add, no, what am I doing? Set platform key equals 53, where platform key equals 160. That's what we should be doing. There was only one of them. And then we should be inserting into platform alternate name platform key name values 53 Nintendo Super Famicom. So now select star from platform alternate name, excuse me, where the platform key equals 53. So now all these different titles are names for Super Nintendo in our database. I don't know what Comboy and Super Comboy comes from, but I put it in there for a reason at one point. Emu Movies, this is the name that Emu Movies uses. Or no, it's not. Nintendo SNES is the name Emu Movies uses. But we added some different titles in here to support connected systems and stuff. Take it easy, Jade. Thanks for joining. Oh, you got a job coach. Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, good luck. Yeah, I hope you can land a job. I hear you there. All right. Okay, so we're good with SNES. I think we're all set there for Super Famicom and Super Nintendo. We just need to do the same thing for Sega Mega Drive and Sega Genesis. So let's figure out what those keys are. Sega Mega Drive is 44, so we're going to set everything. All the games that have a platform of 44 are going to go to platform 42 for Sega Genesis. And then all the names that are platform 44 are also going to go to platform 42. Okay. I did delete the platform, right? Maybe not. Nope, I still need to delete Nintendo Super Famicom. Platform image. So we have images in there for Super Famicom that I need to delete. Alright. Really, yeah. Two rows affected, and then we can finally delete the platform, hopefully. Yep. Alright. Now, move all the games over. 1,000 of them. And then the platform alternate names. It's only one. And we do need to add Sega Mega Drive over here. And then try and delete that platform. Not 160. It's 44 is the one we're deleting for Sega Mega Drive. Why do we have games in there? I thought I changed them all up. Maybe one just got added. The heck? What on earth happened? Did it not run it? Did I get them backwards? Yes, I did. Thank you. Gee. Whoops. Scary. We're setting it to Genesis. There we go. And then we're deleting platform 44. Okay, now pull our platforms back. And we should only have Sega Genesis. There's Sega Genesis. And we don't have Sega Mega Drive anymore. Good. All right, so then from there, look at all the platform names for Sega Genesis. Nope, it's 42, not 44. Okay, so we have alternate names for Sega Mega Drive, Sega Mega Drive, Mega Drive, Mega Drive, and Genesis. I think that makes sense. Convoy were the South Korean names for Nintendo stuff. Ah, okay. Thank you, Elliot, for pointing that out to me. I did see your comment. That's what clued me into what was going on. I appreciate that. Critical Sid, you should also merge Super Game Boy and Game Boy. Okay. The Super Game Boy is basically just Game Boy hardware built in a cart. That's right. That's right. I remember that. Yeah. Thank you, Sid, for mentioning that. Let's see if we even have any games on Super Game Boy. Nintendo Super Game Boy 159. Oops. Nope, no games. So easy to delete that platform. Delete from platform where platform key equals 159. Okay, we have platform alternate names. Let's figure out what those are. Super Game Boy, and a Nintendo Super Game Boy. So we could add all these platform names into Nintendo Game Boy. I think it's probably the best thing to do. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's figure out what Game Boy is. This is platform 159, so we're going to update platform alternate name, set platform key equals, I don't know, where platform key equals 159. So Nintendo Super Game Boy should be merged into Game Boy, which is 28. Okay. And then we should also add a new platform alternate name called 28 for Game Boy, called Nintendo Super Game Boy. And then we can go ahead and delete Nintendo Super Game Boy. Platform image. All right. There it is. All right. So we merged Mega Drive and Genesis. We've merged Famicom, Super Famicom, and SNES. And we've merged Super Game Boy and Game Boy. And I think we're calling that a day as far as the platforms to merge. We have Nintendo Game & Watch to add, and we have a lot more to add as well. So let's add any missing platforms now. Ultimately, I think that's a good idea. So let's do that next. We had somebody commented a bunch of them long time ago, though. I got to go up the comment list. I think Stiflis gave us a list of them. Oh, crap. I ran out. Yeah, I don't think I even have that list anymore. That sucks. All right. Well, I know we've got another browser window here somewhere with the Bitbucket stuff open. It's not that one. There it is. I'm going to move these over here so I can see them. All right, so well, let's go through these over here. And I get people who are angry like this, guys. Moderating games back and forth between SNES and Super Famicom. This is why I kind of wanted to merge it, because it's just like, oh, this is SNES and Super Famicom. Okay, that's good. We just solved that. That's awesome. But anyways, moving on. All right, Xbox Live Arcade. I don't know. Yeah. Neo Geo CD and Nintendo Satellaview. Okay, we can look at that. Xbox Live Arcade, though, I'm not sure. Sure, some games are the same between 360 and Xbox One, or Xbox and Xbox 360, but I don't want one Xbox Live Arcade platform, I don't think, because we definitely shouldn't have a platform that spans the 360, the Xbox, and the Xbox One. That's not a good idea. I can see having an Xbox Live Arcade. No, they're the same games. The only difference is they run. They don't run on a disc. They run just from the internet. So no, I don't. I think I'm gonna decline this. Hi Shades. I appreciate it, but I'm going to choose not to add a new Xbox Live Arcade platform because I don't think it's a good idea to have a platform that spans all three consoles. Yeah, that makes sense, Ali. That said, I don't think we need a separate platform from 360 for Live Arcade or Xbox Live or any of that stuff. I think it all should just be Xbox 360. So. Okay, Taito Type X is definitely one we need. Sure, that makes sense, Ali. All right. We already have BBC Micro. Hi, Anonymous. BBC Micro is already in the list as, what was it called? BBC Microcomputer System. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what this is. The Zavix port. 2004 video game console developed by SSD Company Limited. It uses cartridges, and the controls are peripherals tailor-made for each game, with peripherals like a bat and a baseball being sold for baseball, and boxing gloves being sold for power boxing. Interesting. Has anybody ever used this thing before? Acorn Archimedes, we already have, I believe. Yep, there's Acorn Archimedes. Zavix port. What a stupid name. I've never heard of it either, but sure, I'll add it. Why not? And then Hyperscan platform. The Mattel Hyperscan. Weird. Video game console manufactured by Mattel. Huh. 5 games released. Huh. Sure. What about TurboGrafx? It had Turbo Chips, CD, Super CD. We do have some stuff in there. Let's see what we got. We have TurboGrafx 16, TurboGrafx CD. I don't know what about Turbo Chip, Super CD, all that stuff. I guess we can look that up on Wikipedia. It's basically an upgraded PC engine, sure. So, what is Turbo Chip, for starters? That's not even in this Wikipedia article. We have CD, and so Super CD was an upgraded PC engine. Weird. Super CD-ROM. Was it an add-on, I guess? Super Graphics. Okay. So Super Graphics. Do we have Super Graphics? I'm not sure. Is that a platform we need to add then? The Super Graphics? Doesn't look like we have it. Let's make sure. I can't type. Come on. NEC Super Graphics. Thank you. Is that proper? Is that the correct name for it? There it is. I thought I'd recognize that. Why is that one called NEC Super Graphics while the other ones aren't? I'm not sure, but PC Engine Super Graphics. Exclusively in Japan. Seems like we should rename it. I don't like the name of that. Only 7 games released. Yeah, let's rename it. Hey Stiflus, welcome back. We just we've been through all the platforms. We ended up merging 3 of them. Super NES, Famicom, Super Famicom, I mean, and then the 2 Genesis and Mega Drive, and then we merged Nomad into Genesis and Mega Drive, and then we the last thing we did was merge Super Game Boy into Game Boy, and that's it. So now we're just adding new platforms. We're looking at Super Graphics right now. I'm thinking I'm going to rename it to PC Engine Super Graphics, since that's obviously the proper name for it. Although we could call it the NEC PC Engine Super Graphics. Yeah, that is true, Sid. That is a problem. What I'm trying to go for is to yeah, really what we should be doing is we should be using whatever's on the console. Is what I think we should be doing ideally. But anyways, update platform set name equals where name equals, or just where platform key equals 162 for NEC Super Graphics. There it is. Okay. So we're good with TurboGrafx stuff now, right? Or did I miss anything else? The Super CD was with the Super Graphics, right? For the CD-based stuff, there's a Turbo CD, aka a PC Engine CD-ROM system. We do have that already, I believe. We have TurboGrafx CD. No? This stuff is a pain in the rear, I'll tell you that. I remember reading through this article originally and going, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So you guys gotta help me out. I don't feel like reading this stupid article. Let me know what do I need to add yet, platforms wise, for the TurboGrafx stuff. Okay, there's some games that only worked with the Super CD system card. And the Super CD system card, yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out, Stifless. What do I need to add? We have TurboGrafx 16, TurboGrafx CD, and then we also have the PC Engine super graphics. What else do we need? Okay, cool. All right, let me know if we do need to add a platform there. I'm going to move on for now, though. So I added the Mattel Hyperscan. GameWave. DVD console hybrid. Ah, the PC Engine CD was re-released as the Turbo Duo. Ah, okay. So we should use an alternate name for that. GameWave Family Entertainment System. Interesting. Ali, really, they're all separate systems, I think. And yes, I mean, it would make sense to classify them together, but for now, I mean, we might do that later, but for now, we need to keep them separate, I think, because we don't have the ability to classify the stuff yet. So I can't do that until we get there. GameWave Family Entertainment System. That was the GameWave, and then, yeah, all right. Okay. Now, Taito Type X is an arcade platform, right? Doesn't matter. I'm just asking. And then the Nintendo Game & Watch. Thanks, Stiflis. All right, so that's the right name to use. We have Neo Geo CD. Which is a home console, right? The Neo Geo CD. And right now for Neo Geo, we have Neo Geo Pocket, Pocket Color. Those are handheld. And then Neo Geo. Neo Geo CD. All right. That seems legit. Neo Geo AES and CD. Neo Geo MVS is the arcade version. All right. Okay, so explain to me what we got going on here, guys. We have right now. I have the Neo Geo. Obviously, these are separate: the Pocket and the Pocket Color. So we have a difference between the Neo Geo and the Neo Geo ABS or AES. AES and MVS games are pretty much the same. I know the arcade and the home system. So Neo Geo AES is Neo Geo, right? I just keep it Neo Geo. Okay. I don't like it not having a space, but Wikipedia tells me that that's how it was supposed to be written. So, all right. So we'll keep it Neo Geo, and we'll add Neo Geo CD, and then we're good with Neo Geo, as far as you guys know. And then Nintendo Satellaview, which I've heard before, but I still have no idea what that is. What is it? Satellite modem peripheral for Super Famicom. Interesting. Huh. Weird. Can maybe put SNK Neo Geo? Sure. Yeah, let's leave it for now. So the Satellaview here, were there games specifically released for it? That's what I'm... There must have been. Original Satellaview titles as well as software versions of regular NES and SNES games were broadcast every day throughout the lifetime. Weird. Okay. Okay, a lot of exclusives. Okay. All right, you guys want the SNK? Okay. So we want SNK Neo Geo Pocket, SNK Neo Geo Pocket Color, and SNK Neo Geo. And then SNK Neo Geo CD, right? Okay. Here we go. And then we need alternate names. So let's select star from alternate name where platform key equals 23. Yeah, we got all this crap in here. Holy crap. There's too many frickin' names for this dumb system. Alright, so we're going to insert another one. Insert into platform alternate name. Platform key name values 23 Neo Geo. That was the original title. Okay. So that one's done. Now we got 3 more to do. Where am I at? There it is. Or 2 more to do. Neo Geo Pocket, Neo Geo Pocket Color. Well, we got to add the CD, but we'll get there. Ah, thank you, Sid. Good to know. Kaleidoscope, in some ways, yes, we're going to have the same naming conventions as Hyperspin, but we don't agree on everything, so we're not going to follow it to the T. Okay, Neo Geo Pocket needs to be SNK Neo Geo Pocket, where platform key equals 21. And then we're going to be adding Neo Geo Pocket to the alternate names. Take a look at the existing ones. All right. And one more. Neo Geo Pocket Color, which is ID 22. All right. There we go. So we're up to date with our current platforms, and then we need to delete Neo Geo CD from the alternative names. Select start from platform alternate name, where platform key equals 23. Delete from platform alternate name, where platform alternate name key equals this guy, which is 426. Any others? Nope. Good. All right. Now we get to add all these platforms. Any others anybody can think of before we start adding these? I'm not Stifless. Your comment unfortunately got lost, and so I missed your little list that you had. Sorry about that. Hopefully, I've got them covered, but maybe not. I'm not sure. Awesome. All right, let's do it. So I'm going to insert into platform. Let's take a look at these columns and see if there's anything we do need to populate for these. Insert into platform, we need the name. They're all going to be emulated. I'm not going to look up metadata for these platforms as far as the release date, developer, manufacturer, all that stuff. We should get that stuff in here eventually, but I'm not going to do that immediately. We do need to populate Emu Movie's name, though. So I need to look those up. That's easy enough to do, though. Values. And ideally, we should add alternate names for these, too, which is a pain in the rear, but we should be doing that. So We'll go one by one. Here we go. They're all under arcade. Yeah. Yep. We'll separate them out. We'll get those separated out in a way that's workable. I'm going to go to eMovies Download Service Utility so we can view all the platform names. Just going to drag this over here. Starting with the Nintendo Game & Watch. It's emulated in the eMovies name. This eMovies list might be a good thing to check to see if we're missing any platforms. However, I'm not seeing Nintendo Game & Watch anywhere in the eMovies list. So it seems like eMovies doesn't have Nintendo Game & Watch. Should do this over here so you guys can speak up if you're seeing what I'm missing. But it's not under G. It's not under N. So I'm guessing they don't have it. Interestingly. They've got everything under the sun. I'm surprised. Alright. So we'll put null in for that column. Oh, it isn't? Okay. Well, that would explain it. That questions, to a certain extent, it's questionable why are we adding it, but I'll go ahead and add it. I know some people do like to use LaunchBox for like personal physical collections and stuff like that, so it makes sense to add it, I guess. And then for alternate names, let's figure out what the new ID is. It's 166. So we're going to insert into platform alternate name. Platform key name values 166. One Game & Watch is going to be one of them. And we could put more in. I don't know what else people would call this platform, and we could handle like Game & Watch. Ah, cool. Stiffless, thanks. Sometimes Wikipedia will help with alternate names. I should check that out. Game & Watch, called Tricotronic in West Germany and Austria. Sure, why not? Weird. Okay, that should cover it from what I can tell. All right, so we're good for the Game & Watch. The next thing is Neo Geo CD, which needs to be SNK. Neo Geo CD. It's emulated, and the eMovies name for it. Oh, wow. SNK Neo Dash GOCD is what they use. I mean, the thing is, like, one thing that's always frustrating is I like how EMI Movies makes things uniform, as you've got, they all use a dash, they all have SNK and all that stuff, but and then for like everything's under Nintendo for Nintendo stuff, but that's not how the names really are, and so I've chosen to keep the official names even if they sort out of order and even if they don't match up perfectly, and then you've got stuff like PlayStation, which sometimes has a space between play and station, and sometimes it doesn't. And so it's either you use consistency or you use the proper names. You can't have both. It's just really irritating sometimes. Anyways, the EMI Movie's name is SNK Neo Geo CD, I believe. Right? Yes. Okay. So we'll go ahead and insert that. See if anybody's yelling at me here. Stifless, concerning dates, what do you do when you don't have an exact day and month? I missed that. Dates are what I need to basically I need to add the option in LaunchBox itself to allow you to specify a year only or a month and year, and right now you can't do that, so that's kind of on my to-do list. Anyways, okay, so we have our new platform and we need some alternate names. Obviously there's going to be a lot of them because this platform is tricky. I'm going to say SNK Neo Geo CD. I'm going to say Neo Geo CD. Getting these out of order is a pain in the butt. Neo Geo CD. Neo Space Geo CD. Let's find them all now. Platform key equals 166. Take a look at what we got. Uh-oh. I just messed this up. Whoops. All right. These should be bah. All right. The new platform we just added is SNK Neo Geo CD, and it's 167. All right. So this should be 167. And I'm going to have to correct a bunch of them. Select star from, this is what I need right here. So update platform alternate name, set platform key equals 167, where platform alternate name key equals, there's 4 of these, 470 through 473. All right. And then so here's our platform alternate names. SNK Neo Geo CD, Neo Geo CD, Neo Geo CD, Neo Geo CD. Okay, and then we just need, we already have the space one. We need We have that one. We need this one right here. SNK Neo Geo CD. Okay, do we have more? Are there any more we need to watch for? Ah, that's good to know, JK. NGCD, all right. Yeah, that makes sense, Stifless. All right. What else? I could add the dashes to the official names for the Neo Geo stuff to match EMU movies. The catch with that is that the official original Neo Geo logo did not have the dash, so it's complicated. It's not simple. Um, but we could make it match what what EMU Movies does. But I'm gonna leave it for now. I don't feel like going through all that. That's okay. We have alternate names for it, so if you type it in that way, it's gonna pick it up. Um, so we got these covered. We have Nintendo Satellaview, which should, in theory, be simple. So it's Nintendo Satellaview or just Satellaview, from what I can tell. That'll work. And I think the EMU Movie's name is the same. Let's check on that. Yep. Okay, so the ID is 168. And we're just going to add Satellaview. And call that one a done. Then we have Taito Type X. Apparently there's a whole bunch of different types of Type X, but good enough. And then EMU Movies, Taito Classics. Huh. It's going to be under T. It's the only option. I don't see Taito Type X in here at all. So, I assume it doesn't exist, right guys? EMU Movies calls it Arcade PC. Interesting. Arcade PC is the emulator for Taito Type X? Okay. There it is. Right there. Okay. But the system is Taito Type X. They're actually PC games. That makes sense. There is no emulator for them, but they were played in the arcade. I get it. It's fine. But we'll call this arcade PC. All right, and then it's going to be 169, but just to confirm. $169. Based on a dedicated Windows PC, sure. That's cool, Game Room. Okay. So alternate names. Should I put in Arcade PC as an alternate name for Taito Type X? I assume. All right, give me a second, guys. My daughter is crying outside my door. Okay, so Arcade PC should probably be an alternate title, I'm assuming. Let me know if I'm wrong. And then maybe Type X. All right. And then we'll check on those, make sure I didn't botch that up. But, okay, that's looking good. So we have Taito Type X done, and then we have this Zavix port thing. Weirdo console. That's what I was curious about, Sid. Or call the platform Arcade PC and make the Taito Type X as an alternate name, as there are some other arcade PC systems like Examu EX. Examu X. Yeah, I don't know. It sort of makes sense, although I'm torn. There's really all this stuff should be under arcade anyways. And eventually it will be once we get the proper classifications going. So let's run with the Taito Type X stuff for now. And then, you know, for other platforms we'll eventually group them under arcade and keep them separate as far as the subdivision. All right, so Zavix port. The Emu Movies name, I doubt Emu Movies has it. Let's find out. I don't think there's any other possible names for this system, so if it's not under X, it's not there. Yep. Not going to bother with any other names either. We'll just add it like that. And then we have the Mattel Hyperscan. We'll see if Emu Movies has it. Under H for Hyperscan. Nope. Mattel. Nope. So doesn't look like that exists with Emu Movies either. Excuse me. Okay, let's get the ID. $171. just going to put in Hyperscan as an alternate name. What happened to the ScumVM stuff? I didn't change the ScumVM platform. I don't like it being there because it's not a platform. But I didn't win that argument, so we left it in there. Hyperscan. Did I already do this? No, I didn't. Okay. So we're good there. 171. Out of curiosity, are you guys hearing my daughter yelling and screaming in the background? I'm curious. She's outside my door crying. She's having a fit. 171. Where am I at? This is the Hyperscan, the Mattel Hyperscan. 171. There it is. Here we're good. Okay, and then the GameWave Family Entertainment System is the last one, and we are done. Awesome, Sid. Thank you. Good to know. Glad to hear my mic isn't picking that stuff up. Okay, platform name emulated, EMI Movies name. GameWave Family Entertainment System. Do we have GameWave in EMI Movies? Doesn't look like it. Okay. Any alternate names? Nothing in Wikipedia for alternate names. I don't think this is going to be a popular enough one that anybody's going to really care, to be honest. So we'll just forget the alternate names and put that guy in there. And we're done. Adding the platforms and merging what we're going to merge for today. Woohoo! I didn't necessarily think we were going to spend the whole stream working on the platforms, but we did get the regions fixed up. We got the platforms all squared away as far as the platform names. I'm still hoping to spend some more time today. I want to devote the majority of today yet to the games database. So what I plan on doing yet, my goal, or at least what I'm hoping to do going forward is, at least until we get to the games database in a better state, is to devote one day a week to games database development, so we can keep that going strong and keep it running, and keep tweaking. One of the next things I want to do for the games database. Well, I can pull up my list. Where am I at? I need this one. To show you guys some things I got on my list as far as what I want to work on. Why is this taking so long to wake up? There it is. I've got a bunch of stuff here. So, Sega CD32X. That was another platform I wanted to add. So I'll go add that in a second, because there are games that only work on CD32X. We've combined the platforms we're going to combine, for now at least. Alternate titles with regions. That's like one of the biggest priorities. Better region support. I added the new regions. We need a rules page with the official rules. We need submission comments for changes. We need the ability to add new developers and publishers. That's a huge one too. So that's high up on my priority list. And emails. So basically, people should be getting emails about their changes and stuff like that. They're not right now. There's no emails going out from the games database. So that's where I'm at. I'll be focusing on some of those things this afternoon, today. I'm guessing I'm going to start working on the top two here. Adding developers and publishers is pretty crucial. And then alternate titles with regions is somewhat important too. I don't know though. I'm torn. I might put that off a little bit yet. because we definitely need submission comments as well. But that's where we're at. Let me go add Sega CD32X, because I promised somebody I was going to add that, and I forgot about it. And now that I have my queries all up here, we should do that. EMU movies for that. Sega CD32X. Yeah, EMU movies doesn't have a specific platform for that. I assume it's all under Sega CD for those games. So that's what I'm going to put in. It's either under Sega CD or Sega 32X, but honestly, I'm not sure. So if anybody knows, let me know. But I think it's under, most likely it's under Sega CD. I'm not sure. We'll find out soon enough, I'm sure. Okay, so there's that guy. And then we need the alternate names. And there are alternate names for the different regions for that, so I've got to look that up. Okay. Sega CD32X. What are the alternate names? Oh, Wikipedia is doing another donation drive. Okay. I'll pull this over so you guys can see it. Codename Project Mars. Yeah, but this is just the 32X, not the CD32X. Goodness sakes. Really? There's nothing on this? So what was the CD32X called in... I know I've looked this up before. Let's see. So you look at the game boxes for the US, say Sega CD32X. I found something else at one point. In Europe, what do they say is the question. Let me check the comments. Mega CD32X. Okay. I'm going to take your word for it because I'm not finding it. Okay, the new platform is called ID 173. Well, we're going to add Sega Mega CD32X and just Mega CD32X. And that's good enough for now. Cool. I think that's it, guys. I'm going to start on a new topic and start getting into actual games database development here this afternoon. And we'll go from there. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for the discussion. I know this one wasn't the most interesting. Certainly involved you guys quite a bit in this session, but it wasn't really very focused on development. Apologize for that. We'll be back into LaunchBox and Big Box development on Wednesday for sure. Not quite sure what we're going to be working on, but it depends on what I get done tomorrow. So we're good. What about the Nintendo PlayStation? Sure, no problem, Static Fade. Thank you. All right. Take it easy, guys. And I will see you on Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. PST.